Hi, everybody. I know your mics are mute, but can you wave and say hi to me? I can see you. Nice, strong. Okay. Also, before we start, I'm going to teach you one rule, which is the rule of the silent clap. Do you know how to do the silent clap? The Zoom clap? No, it's this. Everyone, come on, show me a loud silent clap. Fast, loud, 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 silent clap. Okay, so if there's anything we want to appreciate that anyone's doing, or if we want some energy, we'll do our silent claps. I just want to say thank you to Dayapuram and to ma'am and to all of you for having me back here. I'm so excited. I feel like some of you already worked with me last year, right? When you were in the 7th or 8th standard. I feel like I can see some familiar faces. And then maybe the 9th standard students I've never really met before. I was going to do an introduction, but I think we're just going to get started and then I'll jump into a little bit of conversation later. The first exercise that we're going to do is known as the hash circle. Okay, let me share my screen so you can see it and then we can jump. Can you see my screen, everybody? Awesome. Thank you. The hash circle stands for, oops, what's happening? Okay, I'm not being able to, okay. The hash circle stands for happy, angry, sad, and back to happy. Okay, we're going to start with this as our first warm-up exercise. Even though your mics are shut, I want you to count 1 to 20 with me. Don't unmute yourselves, but say it loudly. Please remember, a large part of this workshop depends on your participation. Even if I can't hear you, you need to do what I tell you to do. So let's begin together. We're going to count from 1 to 20. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. How many of you actually counted? Show me with a thumbs up. How many of you did it with me? Awesome. Okay, we're going to do it again. But now we're going to do it like the hash circle, where 1 to 5 is happy. 6 to 10 is angry. 11 to 15 is sad. And 16 to 20 is happy again. So we're going to count 1 to 20 again, but this time our voice and our face has to have the hash expressions. So 3, 2, 1, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Why do I see people smiling? We are sad. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I know that some of this looks all silly and funny, but remember, with theater, you have to participate and you have to have fun. So we're going to do the hash circle again, but this time we're going to stand up and use our full body. Okay, come on, everybody, stand up. Let me see you standing up. The people in the first panel, I can see you standing up. People in the second panel, some people have stood up. Thank you. Third panel, cameras are not on. Come on, everybody. Okay, so let's do the hash circle this time. So 1 to 5 is happy, 6 to 10 is angry, 11 to 15 is sad, and 16 to 20 is happy again. And this time you're going to show me all of this with your body, okay? So 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you show anger? Don't copy me, do it in your own way. 7, 8, 9, 10. Sad. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, one more time, and this time really fast. Happy, angry, sad, happy. 3, 2, I'm not going to say it this time. I'm just going to watch you. 3, 2, 1, go. 1. Angry. Very good, Darina. Ishita, very nice. Come on, move to sad. And move back to happy when you're ready. Okay, thank you. Sit down and let's clap for the entire group. Good work, good work, good work. Very nice. Do you feel warmed up? Do you feel energized? Ready to do some work? Excellent. Let's just move back on. Okay, so I have a slideshow, but somehow when I share it, things don't work on it. I'm going to try sharing it again, okay? So you can see it now, right? Okay, and it's moving. All right, so welcome to Dayapuram English Season Spoken Word. My name is Meghna Gandhi. This is my family. Oh, and I'm wearing the same top in the photograph. I didn't realize. Okay, and this is Mr. Ashley, who is, he was my senior when I was in university, and that is my connection with Dayapuram. I live in Mumbai city. This is where I am right now, but it's amazing that we can all be connected because of the internet and Zoom in this strange lockdown world. I'm a teacher and examiner, and I teach language, performance, and public speaking. We've already finished our first exercise. So now we're going to do a breathing exercise, okay? One more physical exercise before you actually start writing and performing. This breathing exercise is known as staccato legato. I'm going to write the words in the chat. Hang on. Where is the chat now? Array. Fine, I'll write it later. But let me see if I can find the chat here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is the name of the exercise. Staccato legato. Staccato means something that is short and abrupt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, when I speak like that, that's staccato. It's quick, short, disconnected. Legato is when something's long and flowing and connected. So if I speak like this, 1, 2, 3, that's a legato speech. Whereas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a staccato speech. Okay, we often hear staccato and legato sounds in music, right? When you hear music that's jumpy versus music that's flowing. So in this exercise, I need again everyone to stand up, and I need you to stand in actors neutral. Actors neutral means you're standing where your feet are firmly on the floor, your hands are by your side, and you're looking straight in front. You don't have to look at the camera, you don't have to look at the computer, you look straight in front. Now remember, I can't see you, okay? Your best experience of this workshop will be when you participate. So I'll repeat one more time, please participate, okay? All right, So you are standing in actor's neutral. Feet firm, hands by your sides, looking forward. This is going to be our center position. When I say the word center, it always means you should come back to actor's neutral. Okay? Now, when I say center up, it means you are going to breathe in and go up. So center up. Okay, everybody take a deep breath and go up. Come on. Let me see you raise your hands. Take a deep breath and go up. And back to the center. Now center down. So take a deep breath and go down. Bend down. And come back to the center. Let's do it together. Center up and center down. Breathe in. Center. Breathe in, down. Center. Excellent. Now we're going to do center right and center left. Breathe in. And back to the center. So extend your whole body to the right when you breathe in. Breathe in. Left. Center. Very nice. Let's try and do all four together. Okay. So up. Center. Down. Center. Right. Center. Left. Center. And the last is center front and center back. So breathe in and center, breathe out and center. Okay. So with every breath you take, you need to move in this direction. Up, down, right, left, front, back. And then when you breathe out, you come back to the center. I hope you understood this. Let's try everything together. Actors neutral. Up, center. Let's do it staccato. So let's do it really fast, okay? Up, center, down, center, right, center, left, center, front, center, back, center. Now, I know I look like a funny cartoon on your screens, but I'm going to encourage you to try and copy me, okay? Everybody, let's go again, really fast. So, that's how you're breathing, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Up, center, down, center, right, center, left, center, front, center, back, center. Now let's do it legato, okay? So I want you to go slowly and slowly, okay? So let's do this whole thing in legato. Stand in actor neutral and up. Center. Slowly. Very good. Down. Breathe in and slowly go down. Center. Slowly. Right. Like a wave. Move slowly. Center. Slowly come back. You can all see my hands on your screen, hopefully. Left, like a wave, move to the left. Center. Front, reach out to the screen, reach out to the camera. Feel like you're connecting with all your classmates from Dayapuram. Front. And slowly back to center. And now back, like you're opening your heart to the world. Come on. Back. Use your neck. Center. Slowly. Okay. Thank you. So, may I ask maybe 3 or 4 of you to write in the chat about what did you feel when you were doing staccato legato, or what was the focus of the exercise, or what did you enjoy, or what was challenging? Can someone, can anyone here feel, you feel like you want to respond? I'll put the questions in the chat, okay? What did you feel? Okay, someone said staccato was challenging. Someone said it was like meditation. Thank you, Fatima. Legato is really like meditation, right? When you take it really slow, I agree. Someone said you felt good. Okay, I felt good is a great response, but try and make it more specific. What about it felt good? Was it because it was fast? Was it because it was slow? Was it the contra? It was relaxing. Yes, Ishita, actually, if you do it really well, this relaxes your body, right? My next question is also here. It was fun. Yay, Abhishek, I'm glad you had fun. What was the focus of this exercise? Okay, Mirzana, I'm glad you interacted with the audience and your friends, because a large part of this exercise was to make you all do it together, right? Yes, Ishita's got that perfectly correct. The focus of the exercise was breath. And then, like Leah Fatima says, when you focus on breath, you relax and free your mind, not just your mind, even your body. Okay. So thank you for your responses. We'll stop chatting for a minute. Okay. Stop chatting and typing now. And we're just going to gather all our thoughts. So our focus was breath. And our focus was freeing the mind and freeing the body. And we all felt engaged. We enjoyed ourselves. We felt relaxed. To some people, it even felt like meditation. Thank you. This was amazing. Your feedback was really good for me. Now, we are going to jump into our big topic. What is spoken word poetry, right? That is a huge question to discuss before we move on. So, everybody knows poetry? Yes? Yes, no, yes. Okay. So again, in the chat, can you tell me, what do you usually do with poetry? What do you usually do with poetry? It's unintelligible words. Okay. Don't tell me what poetry is. Tell me, what do you are school students. You go to school, you study. So what do you usually do with poetry? You describe feelings. Okay. You express ideas. Excellent. And actually, like Nuha Anwar's words, you express your ideas. You don't take any other people's ideas. Poetry is about your ideas. What else? Anybody else? You describe your opinion. You share your joy. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop you here for a minute and tell you that when I was a student, when I was in school, the only thing we did with poetry was we studied it, we read it, we wrote exams and question answers. Okay. When I was your age, I did not know about something called spoken word poetry, right? Okay, so Mirzana says the main function of a poem is to convey an idea or emotion in beautiful language. It paints a picture of what the poet feels about a thing, a person, an idea, concept, or object. Okay, that's a super good definition. You are right. And when I was a student, this definition was important. So we used to sit and read poetry. We used to learn it by heart. We used to write question answers. But often, because of that, I did not enjoy poetry. Okay. because I had trouble understanding it. All the question answers were very stressful. And when I became introduced to spoken word poetry, everything changed, which is why I want to share spoken word poetry with you. Okay? There is a difference between poetry and spoken word poetry. Does anyone want to type in the chat and tell me what they think is the difference? What do you think is the difference between poetry and spoken word poetry? Okay, that's an interesting idea. One is forced, the other is voluntary. As a student, I definitely used to feel like that poetry was forced, but spoken word poetry I enjoy more. Anything else? Anything else? What is the main difference in poetry and spoken word poetry? What do you guys think? From the name, you have your hint. The name itself gives you the hint. Yes, Aisha Farha, excellent. A spoken word poem is performed live and it's different from written poetry. So I'm going to ask you again to stop typing in the chat and listen to me. That is amazing. Okay, traditionally, poetry was written to be read. Even when it was written to be performed, like Shakespeare, he wrote his poetry to be performed, but people only used to read it. And over time, poetry became something that you put in books, and that's not very common, right? It was written and it was written and it was written and it was read and it was studied. With spoken word poetry, the aim is different. Spoken word poetry is never written for reading, it's written for speaking. It's written for performing. It's written for communicating. Which means if as a poet, if I write a poem, I write it, I put it out there. Who reads it, when they read it, how they read it, what they feel, that I am not connected with. But as a spoken word poet, when I write something, I read it for my audience. So my audience becomes very important. It's live. When I share my feelings with them, what they are feeling, what they are thinking, I can see their reactions. I can make an immediate connection with them. And that is the big difference about spoken word poetry. Okay, it's live, it's immediate, it's for an audience, it's about being connected to your audience. And that is why, because spoken word poetry is so live, it is characterized by these three things. It is personal, it is about you and your story and what you want to say and what you want to share and your ideas. You don't have to write a spoken word poem about beautiful daffodil flowers if you don't care about daffodils. You don't have to write a poem about freedom if you don't care about freedom. Your spoken word poem has to be about something you care about and you want to share. It has to be honest. You can't write a spoken word poem with fancy words because they'll get you good marks. Arey, chalo, let's throw one simile, let's put one alliteration, let's write some big words because I will get good marks. Immediately, your audience will see that you are a fake. Your spoken word poetry has to be honest. And my last point, brave, I'm going to ask you again. Why do you think you need to be brave as a spoken word poet? Why does a spoken word poet require to be brave? Can you write in the chat? I already told you it requires you to be personal. It requires you to be honest. Why do you think writing and performing spoken word poetry requires you to be brave? Azim, that is excellent because it is personal. And sharing something personal is not easy. It can be scary, no? Telling somebody how you feel or telling somebody about a scary experience you've had. Faizan is right. You need to have confidence to do that. And that confidence requires a lot of bravery. When you honestly want to tell somebody, hey, I'm hurting and this is my pain. Or when you honestly want to tell somebody, oh, I love this and it makes me so happy. It requires honesty and that requires bravery. It's easy for us to have masks and it's easy for us to put blocks, especially right now when we're not meeting each other and everything is Zoom. It's easy for us to hide, no, behind our switched off cameras. But spoken word requires you to stand in front of people and be honest and be brave and talk about what you want to talk about. So I actually love what you guys have said. You attract the audience when you're brave, when you're honest. You need to be confident. To share something that has scared us, yes, Mohammad, you're right. It takes a lot of bravery. Something that scares us or excites us or makes us happy or makes us sad, any of that. Awesome. So now that you know this, I think we should all tap ourselves on the back for being brave. Come on, everybody. I think you're going to be very brave today. And I think we also need to clap for everybody else who's going to be very brave as part of this group and wish everybody luck. Okay. So does everyone have a pen or a pencil and a paper on which they can write? Amazing. We're going to start with our first spoken word exercise. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is write a poem which is known as a cinquain. Has anyone ever heard of a cinquain before? Okay. The word cinq, it's actually pronounced as cinq, is the French word for 5. Okay. A cinquain is a poem or a style of poem that was invented in 1911 in the USA, and it's inspired by the haiku. Does everyone know the haiku from Japan? A haiku is a short poem. It's a Japanese style of poem. Anyway, that's not important right now. Using the haiku, a female poet in USA in 1911 formed the cinquain. The cinquain is actually a pretty fun form of writing poetry because it has only 5 lines. Okay? And interestingly, there are many ways in which to write the cinquain, but because we don't have time, we are going to try the simplest way. And the simplest way you have to remember about the cinquain is that it looks like a diamond. It's a 5-line poem that looks like a diamond, which means your first line is 1 word, your second line is 2 words, your third line is 3 words, your fourth line is 4 words, and your fifth line is back to being 1 word. Okay, so your poem looks like this. It's short, then gets longer, then gets longer, then gets longer, and like a diamond, it ends again with a short word. Okay. Usually, the first word of the cinquain is the topic or the name of what you're talking about or just pointing out what you're saying. So I'm going to share a really famous cinquain by Ken Nesbitt, who's a children's poet. Okay, just give me a second. I had the cinquain on my phone to share it with you. Let me just open it again. So Ken Nesbitt is the children's poet. I've made some mistakes in my typing, but this is a cinquain he wrote for children. Ice cream, cold, tasty, melting, dripping, pleasing, feels good in my tummy, yummy. Simple, right? So he's written his topic, which is the ice cream, in the first line. Then he's described it, cold and tasty. Sorry, I've typed it wrong. Okay, guys? Then he's given 3 ing or action words: melting, dripping, pleasing, feels good in my tummy, yummy. So that's what his poem looks like. Okay. Let's try and write a cinquain together. Okay. Let's try and write a cinquain together. About what topic shall we pick? Does anyone want to suggest a topic in the chat? Let's try and death. Ooh, too dark. I'm very happy. I don't want to write about death right now. Sorry, Azim. Let's maybe write about something a little more fun and a little easy. Night. Okay, awesome. Let's start with night. So can we make the first line of our poem night? Second line, we need 2 words. What 2 words could we use over here? Dark. One more. Okay, stop. Let's stick with dark, scary. Okay, dark, scary. But I really love what Mayuka has said about getting sleepy. So can we use that in our third line? Night, dark, scary. Third line can be makes me sleepy. What can our fourth line be? Let's try and connect it with makes me sleepy. Get comfy is a good idea. Dreaming is a good idea. Okay, let's try and work with both comfy and dream. Okay, so night, dark and scary, makes me sleepy. I wish I could dream, or I want to dream instead, or makes me sleepy, taking me to dreamland. Comfy. I think that might be an interesting poem. Look, night, dark, scary, makes me sleepy. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I dream peacefully, comfy. I think that's an interesting cinquain. Night, dark and scary, makes me sleepy. Sometimes I dream peacefully, comfy. Okay, we could also use, and I've just used some of your ideas, but so many of you have ideas about freezing and chopping crickets and the sound of the fan, and there's the bright stars, Tirtha, such a great idea. So there are so many ideas. So this cinquain about the night can be written in so many different ways, right? So what I'm going to do is, it's 11:09 on my computer. I'm going to give you all 5 minutes, actually no, just 3 minutes, to write your own cinquain about the night in your book. Everyone's cinquain should start with the same word, night. But then your second line, third line, fourth line, and fifth line can differ based on what you want. Come on, quickly. Thank you. If you're done, you don't need to type in the chat. Just wait, read it aloud, see what it sounds like. So everyone who's writing, right, you still have 2 minutes. If you're done writing, try reading it with expression. 1 more minute left. Okay, a few seconds left. And let's stop. Okay, I don't want you to share your poems in the chat right now, because if you do that, they'll get lost. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get together with your teachers after this session, and maybe we can make a Padlet or a Google Slides or something where you can share your poems. So keep it with you, but I definitely want the community to share it. Remember, the whole point of spoken word is that it gets out, right? So right now, even though it's written, I want everybody to be able to read everybody's poems. Please keep it with you. And also, I want to read all your poems. So I'll find a way where you can share your poems. We're going to write our second cinquain, and then we stop and move on to other forms of poetry. Your second cinquain is going to be about you, which means the first line in this cinquain is going to be your name. And then 2 words maybe to describe you, 3 words about an action or something you do or something you love, 4 words about something else, maybe something you wish, something you want to change, and then a conclusion word. Okay, so this one is going to be honest, and it's going to be personal, and you're going to be brave, but I want you to try and write it. Come on, I'll give you 3 minutes for this one also. I'll also try to write something. That's mine. I already wrote my cinquain. Do you guys like it? Meghna. Funky teacher. Always so energetic. Sometimes she's strict. Dramatic. Okay? Come on. But mine is about my job. I wrote it about my job, right? I'll try and write something more personal again, which will be about me. I want yours to be really personal, okay? So it's about who you are, your relationships, uh, yours. So I'll try and write a personal one also. Make sure yours is also personal. So I've written 2 for you guys. One is a little more related to my work. One is a little more related to my personal life. You can have fun and do what you want. It's 11:15. Let's try and finish this by 11:18. Okay. Okay, it's 11:18. I know a lot of you are done. Some of you are not done. It's okay. May I ask? Yes, of course, you can write two poems on the same topic. Syncanes are so easy that we can actually write, I think, 200 poems on the same topic, right? Because different ideas keep coming. So, can I ask just two people, maybe one girl and one boy, to share their poem in the chat? And then everybody else, again, we'll set up a Padlet or something where we can all share our poems. So for now, would one person like to share? Just say yes if you want to share your poem in the chat. Okay, Azim. Okay, we're going to listen to Azim's poem. Let's go, Azim. Azim, remember, you are sharing your thoughts with the public, okay? So that we're very proud of you. That's amazing. Let's type your poem in the chat so we can look at it. Ooh, treacherously different. That's a lot of character, Azim. I like that. Writes readable prose. Okay. Absolutely terrible at poetry. Okay. Verbose. Azim, that's amazing. Is Azim a student or a teacher? I don't know who Azim is. I can't see Azim. Azim, is your camera off? Where are you? Ah, okay. Okay. Lovely. That's a very exciting poem. Azim. Treacherously different. Writes readable prose. Absolutely terrible at poetry. Verbose. Okay. Would one girl maybe want to share her poem? Say yes if you'd like to share your poem. Shravantika's already said yes. Okay, Shravantika, come on. Let's listen to your poem. Not listen, we're reading right now, but I will read it out. Shravantika, are you ready to share your poem in the chat? Shravantika Manoj. Oh yeah, she started. I love that contrast already. See, with the two words that she has, Shravantika is doing such exciting things. She's telling us she's sweet, but also angry. So we're imagining different emotions, different colors, different feelings. Hits to cry. That's a strong one. Ooh, but loves to shout. Let's see what her last word is. Okay, interesting. Very nice. I love how she's taken so many different contrasting elements and put them in together. Lovely. Okay, thank you, Azim and Shravantika. That was such a good example of what you've written, and I can't wait to read everybody else's poems. Okay, so please keep your papers and your notebooks and your poems carefully. We'll find a way of sharing them. So what I'm going to do now is just share. I'm going to get you to watch some spoken word poetry, and we'll analyze and think about what those performers are doing well. Then I'm going to give you a tiny task, and then we're going to have to stop because I guess you have your next session also pretty soon, right? So there is something called Project Voice, which was started in America by two people called Sarah K and Phil K. Okay, Sarah K and Phil K. And the amazing thing is, Sarah and Phil are not related. They are not cousins. They are not husband and wife. They are not brother, sister. They are just two random people who met, and they realized that their surname was very similar. And then they started sharing more and more and more and realized that they have so much in common. And they didn't know any of this before when they were both writing and speaking spoken word poetry. So they made this poem together, okay? And it's a really nice poem. And yeah, let's watch it and then let's think about what's interesting, what's not. I'm going to share my screen, and if you can't hear, because I'm a little unsure how some of this Zoom sharing works, if you can't hear it, you need to tell me, okay?
Some of you may have noticed that Phil and I have the same last name.
Can you hear it?
We're kind of vaguely similar to each other. So
can you guys hear it when I play it? Can someone just put their camera on and show me like a thumbs up? You can hear it, right? Okay, thank you.
Whenever we travel around together, usually the first question we get asked is whether we're brother and sister. And the answer is no.
No.
And then they want to know if we're married, and the answer is also no.
No.
And then they want to know if we're dating, if we have dated, if we will date, if we're secretly dating, if one of us wants to date the other, but we're scared we're in the friendship, all of which is a resounding no.
Ha! No.
The true story is that I grew up in New York City, and Phil grew up in California on the opposite side of the country, and neither one of us knew that the other person existed until we got to college, and we ended up going to the same university. And in the very first week of our freshman year at college, there was an orientation talent show. And in this talent show, Phil performed spoken word poetry, and I performed spoken word poetry, and that's where we met. And we realized that we had the same last name, and we said, oh, what a weird coincidence. And pretty soon, all of these other weird coincidences started to unravel around us. And at this point in our friendship, we basically got used to all of them. But whenever we go somewhere new, we like to share the story because we think it's at least a little bit of an explanation for what's going on here.
This is all true.
So you've understood the background. Phil and Sarah grew up in different parts of America. They met in college, and it was at a spoken word poetry event that they realized they have the same common surname. And then just see how interestingly they discovered other things about themselves. So please watch carefully, okay, now, and listen carefully.
Started with a sweater.
I was looking fly. First day of college orientation as a freshman, and I'm the type of guy who's always trying to make a good impression.
He looked like a tool. And it's the first week of school, so I've got people to meet and things to try. I don't have time to waste on this guy loitering backstage at a talent show.
It started with a freshman talent show, a chance to showcase what I know about spoken word and poetry, try to get some people to notice me.
It started with a technical difficulty.
Some sort of delay.
Somebody's iPod track wouldn't play.
So I'm stuck waiting backstage when I notice this girl.
And he walks over, stupid sweater and all. There was nowhere to run. Backstage was too small.
I'm so nervous about going on stage that I decided to strike up a conversation.
Sorry, I completely got ahead of myself. I totally skipped introductions. My name is Sarah Kay.
My name is Phil K.
Guys, I don't know why so many people are drawing on the screen. I don't understand what is happening. I'm not going to continue the workshop if people continue to do that. I'm happy to share the link and you can watch on your own. I don't understand why people are drawing on the screen. I'm going to request you one time, because I hate being this person who doesn't smile in her workshops. I'm going to request you one time to make sure that when I share screen, you're not drawing anything on it and you're watching, okay?
I'm from California.
Born and raised in NYC.
Let's see, fun fact about me.
My mom is Japanese and my dad is Jewish. Not a common combination, but I think it's kind of cute. People call me Japaju.
Japanese.
Ashkenazi, kamikaze.
And come December,
Hanukkah and Christmas. Plus, you should taste my mother's brisket. Jan Kawamura's matzo ball soup with noodles brings my father Jeffrey to his knees.
It took Mom Reiko and Dad Michael to raise this lanky, cockeyed half-breed.
Well, I think that's it. My mom, my Oh, plus my little brother, he's 19.
My little sister is a deadpan firecracker. She's only 19, but she keeps me on track. Part of her name is Sarah.
My brother's name is Philip.
Anyway,
where was I?
it started with a backstage interaction.
No, it started with a backwards first impression.
Okay, well, I'll tell you where it didn't start. It didn't start at 5th grade summer.
That's true. It did not start at junior lifeguards, even though
We were both there, which are matching uniforms, red bathing suits, white t-shirts, visors, and our counselor,
Mr. Johnson, who probably figured that the shy girl in his morning class
and the skinny kid in his afternoon class were cousins.
Probably thought we carpooled over together.
In between family photo shoots and 4th of July barbecues.
But instead, we merely coexisted,
Almost met, but always missed it.
spinning around like two sides of a coin. Look, we've done the research, and we swear we're not related.
And we've never dated.
And we're never,
ever going to. Because what are the chances of finding someone with your last name?
Japanese and Jewish with siblings called the same,
What are the odds of finding
who
someone
can finish your sentences,
who will let you cut in
who
line?
knows not to just lend a hand or an ear when you need them to give you their spine,
Who is woman enough to be best man at your wedding?
who will keep every secret, save every letter, tell you how you really look
Who will remember every single one of your birthdays?
without checking Facebook,
What are the odds of finding someone who knows your poetry by heart?
who won't freak out if you're hanging out and accidentally fart.
Yeah, and if you have a date and you need to look fresh, I will let you borrow my hair products.
And if you don't have a date and you need to look fresh, I will let you borrow my cousin.
I will always see you for the alley-oop.
I will always save you a seat.
I will always pick you to be my partner, even though you are terrible at handball.
When the fire takes all you have, my home will be your home.
When you are old and can no longer remember my face, I will meet you for the first time again and again.
When they make fun of your accent, I will take you swimming, because we all sound the same underwater.
When Ellis Island tries to erase your past, I will call you by your real name.
When they call your number for the draft, I will enlist to fight beside you.
And I will march with you from Selma to Montgomery and back as many times as it takes.
We will stand together against the hoses and the dogs, because it didn't start with
It
us.
started with Lennon and McCartney,
It started with Thelma and Louise,
Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin,
Bert and Ernie,
Abbott and Costello,
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern,
Mario and Luigi,
Watson and Sherlock.
Pikachu and Charizard. And they could tell you what a miracle this is.
They could tell you how rare this is.
But they could tell you how rare friendship always is.
The chances are slim.
The cards are always stacked against you. The odds are always low.
But I have seen the best of you and the worst of you,
And I choose both. I want to share every single one of your sunshines and save some for later.
I will tuck them into my pockets so I can give them back to you when the rains fall hard.
Friend, I want to be the mirror that reminds you to love yourself.
I want to be the air in your lungs that reminds you to breathe easy.
When the walls come
When
down,
the thunder rumbles,
when nobody else is home, hold my hand, and I promise I won't let go.
Okay, did everybody get to watch that? Yeah? Okay, so it's 11:30 actually. I need the teachers to tell me when. Can I take 10 more minutes? Yeah? Okay, so what we're going to try and do based on this poem, and the name of the poem
I
is-
knew exactly
Sorry,
what
sorry,
love
sorry.
looked like in 7th grade.
Sorry. Okay. So the name of the poem was An Origin Story, right? And can you just in the chat one by one respond to what you watched? Let's respond to the first question. What was the poem about? What do you think the poem was about? Okay, it was about their life and their story. It was about friendship. It was about experiences. It was just about them. I love Fatima's answer. It was about them. Yeah, sure. I'll speak loudly. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. Okay, So the poem was about them because it spoke about their parents' names, their religion, their brother's name, sister's name. But then, like Anay says, it was about how they met, right? So it was, you know, we were waiting backstage, we saw each other, we realized, and then they kind of realized that there's so much similarity, which brings me to, I think, the most important answer that we got right in the beginning from Azim, right? That it's about friendship. And I want you to use this example to try and understand something important about spoken word poetry. Spoken word poetry is a combination of something personal and its connection to something bigger or something universal. So by talking about their similarities, they didn't stop over there. They started talking about their similarities. Oh, you know, my sister's 19, my brother's 19. Oh, I'm half Japanese, half Jewish. My sister's name is this, my brother's name is this. I went to summer camp. But by sharing their story, they then moved on to something bigger. And what was big about their poem? Friendship, their true friendship. What else? What else do they say about friendship? They say something very important about friendship. What do they say? They say that friendship is rare, no? Yes, that Niha, that's perfect. That no matter what happens, I've got your back, right? That no matter what happens, I'm going to be my true friend, your true friend. So I think that is, I'll always be there for you. Okay, so we're now going to stop our session in 1 minute. And I'm going to just very quickly conclude for you that this is what spoken word poetry is about. Okay, taking something personal, telling a personal story, but also giving a nice, big, strong, universal message with it. And the second thing, which we don't have time to discuss right now, I hope you saw, is not only was that poem beautiful, but how they said it, the way they used their face and the way they used their body made it very, very interesting. Okay, I'm going to give you one small task to do at home. Okay, and then I'm going to stop our session. I'm typing the task in the chat. Make a list of 10 things. Today at home in the evening, you're going to make a list of 10 things that you believe are true or that you've experienced or that you want to share, right? Like one of my truths could probably be that I love drama. Another one of my truths could be that I don't like being alone. Or a third truth could be I love ice cream and chocolate. So make a list of these 10 truths at home, and tomorrow we're going to start with those. So you're going to already come with some lovely matter, and we're going to turn some of that into poetry. And I'm really sorry we went overboard and over time, but I hope you've enjoyed the session. I'm going to stop right now. Bye bye.